We are going to start off with something a little bit different this time. Erik has something stuck in his craw he'd like to get out this morning. It's typical. We're sitting here drinking coffee, being angry because we're awake at this time in the morning. So, Erik, if you don't mind, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to go off a little rant about, all these pre-order exclusive bonuses you get for pre-order at certain retailers or even on certain consoles.
Right.
I know in the past, the real major culprit was the Batman Arkham City or Arkham series games.
Right.
For example, last year at Arkham City, if you wanted a specific character skin like the 60s Batman, to roam around in the virtual world, you had to pre-order at Best Buy. But if you wanted the Batman Beyond costume, you had to pre-order at Target.
Right.
And it really annoys me that I can't get everything together at the same time or at one time, because I know they eventually will sell it later, but at the same time, it's like, well, I could have got this for free if I just pre-ordered. Now you're going to charge me $5 for a skin pack.
Right.
And the most biggest culprit right now is Destiny, because I'm a huge Destiny player.
Right.
And already, you're a PlayStation guy, right?
Yep.
So you've had an exclusive strike, some multiplayer maps, and a couple of weapons that I haven't been able to have this whole entire year because you're a PlayStation owner and you play Destiny on PlayStation. So it's like I have no access to that.
Right.
And now they're going even further with this new DLC that's coming out, the new Taken King DLC. If you buy the collector's edition, which gives you the base game Destiny, expansions 1 and 2, and then the new Taken King Destiny, you get special shaders, emotes, and class items.
Right.
Now, since I already own all that stuff, and I just want to add the $40 of the expansion,
right,
I don't get any of that. It only comes with the collector's edition. I just get the Taken King.
So you're
DLC.
having to repurchase the entire game as a collector's edition?
Exactly. That's what the first thought was.
Yeah.
And what was going to happen, they're like, yeah, there's no other way to get it. They since then came back around and said, oh, okay, you can add a $20 add-on to your $40 DLC expansion to add those extra emotes and shaders.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, but these guys are getting it part of the package. Why are you charging me an extra $20 for 3 emotes, 3 class items, and 3 shaders?
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, and I heard, though, it will be included for free, but you have to wait till January, so you're waiting 4 months. No, 4 months. 6 months.
That's for particular weapon
But
packs.
I thought it was for the King package, whatever was it King Awakens?
The Taken King?
Taken King.
Yeah.
That package, that one that they're displaying, at least this is just what I saw online, that it will become available for free, but it's going to be a really long time. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff will be, but those specific emotes that everybody wants, that especially like me who've been playing Destiny for the past year from day one, wants to collect everything.
Yeah.
Those were specific to just the collector's edition. That's how they got you to buy the collector's edition. Like, hey, get all the way caught up with Destiny, buy the full everything that we have, and you'll get these exclusive items. And it's like, well, why
so that was an original selling point of the original collector's edition?
Correct.
So now there's a second collector's edition?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, exactly. It gets confusing for first time because you don't play Destiny, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, the whole reason I took that my name is Matt the Noob, because I don't, my video game knowledge, ended at PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, or I just got caught up in other things that I mean, I still played from time to time, but it was never the way I did back then. So, yeah, hearing all this is ridiculous. Just as a consumer level, when somebody goes, oh yeah, here's this, but these guys get this, and these guys get this.
Right.
And then also, because the game is massively multiplayer, Destiny has a story component, right?
Yeah.
Is it real short, or is it...
We can go into detail and the complaints about
It's not
the story,
like a Mass Effect type of thing, right? Mass Effect is real big, and then it has...
Destiny's very short, simple, sweet.
So it's more like a Halo type.
More like a Halo, yeah.
Okay. So then, other players have other advantages that, it's not based on your gameplay.
No,
and
exactly.
that's the difficult thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you play Call of Duty. It's like now, in the past, Call of Duty was always a home on Xbox, Now it's going to be on PlayStation, which is going to benefit you like crazy. But for me, it's kind of like... Well,
I have no complaints.
Yeah, of course not. But do you have any other thoughts on pre-order things? Do you care? Does it matter to you?
I do to an extent. I mean, like you were saying, if somebody that pre-orders it gets advantages over somebody that just buys it on day one without pre-ordering it. I think that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm the one that bought it on day one, didn't pre-order it, and I'm the one with the disadvantage.
Right, because they got that special rocket launcher that you don't have, you will never get.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. See, and I've seen a lot of complaints on it online, and I thought they would start moving away from it. But the financial benefit of doing it must be so much greater that they deal with the crap. Because, gamers are some of the worst in the world anyway, at literally going after people and shutting down websites and going after stuff to try to get their point across. But they keep doing it, and then they're doing it through retailers, so they must be getting kickback from retailers.
Yeah, they must.
They're doing it online. It's probably the only thing that keeps GameStop open.
Yeah.
It's like, other than that, and their side business is what? They own Game Informer, I believe.
They own a Game Informer, and they just bought a new, I can't remember the company, let me see. They just bought a new
They did, yeah.
company that sells toys and collectibles.
Yeah.
So they see that on their website now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just my little rant. I hate these pre-order goddamn bonuses, and it's I just want you to sell the same game at all the different places. I can buy it no matter what console I own. I don't have to worry about, oh, geez, do I have to buy it here first, or can I get it there? Calculating on my phone, what's the best way to get everything that they're offering? Because I'm a hoarder. I like to collect stuff online.
Right, and it plays into that a little bit. They know their market a little bit, especially gamers and stuff like that. They I want every piece of what I like. This is my thing. This is what I'm into. I collect these things. And now they literally screw you out of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because even if you do pre-order, it's on 3 separate things, right? Yep. Or does it save to your hard drive?
Well,
if I was crazy and I just went, all right, Target, GameStop, everybody, and put all 3 discs in there, would I then get all of that stuff?
I don't think it would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would be individual to every one you put in. Or something like that. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been digital this whole generation.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
You don't even.
I don't own a disc anymore. It's all digital
that's how old
downloads.
I am.
So that makes it. That makes it simple.
Do you
for
have
me.
CDs or maybe game cartridges you put inside?
You gotta blow into
them.
them.
Yeah, shit, man.
I have a couple of discs, but lately I think most of mine have just been digital.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you have to do house cleaning? Do you
it
because the games are huge, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think the PlayStation is 500 gigs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Xbox came out with 500 gigs, and I think the estimated you can hold 10 to 15 full games on there before you can wipe it. But that's not including gameplay footage that you record, because both consoles can record the DLC stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of house cleaning. If I'm not playing the game or I've just beat it, I'll delete it from my system. But what's great is I think with the PlayStation you could just add a new hard drive on there, right?
Yeah.
So you can make it up to 4 terabytes if you wanted to.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
Do they keep them in the cloud though for you? If you for some reason needed to re-download it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once you download it digitally,
you own it.
You own it.
Okay.
So you can re-download. And then for the Xbox, all I have to do is plug in an external hard drive
and just put it off onto that.
Yeah. So now I have a 2 terabyte hard drive hooked up to my Xbox. That's where all my games are stored.
Oh, awesome.
It's kind of like the same concept as like an Apple ID.
Yeah.
Everything gets saved on there. If you get a new phone, then you can just go ahead and download whatever you already had.
Which is funny because Google just did that, and now Dropbox is pissed. So they're like, we were the guys who held everything for you, and now Google's like, we'll just hang on to it. So all your pictures.
It's because Google likes the way that Apple's been doing it, and they're trying.
They're always a step behind, and sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. It's funny. But anyway, moving on, we'll go on to Ant-Man. We both saw Ant-Man this weekend. As far as I'm concerned, it was a great film. It was a great addition to the Marvel Universe. Looking at the pure numbers, first weekend it did $58 million, which doesn't sound like a lot.
It's pretty good lately.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy, which no one could really explain why that movie went the way it did. Because, as a fairly novice, I read quite a few comics and stuff. The Guardians of the Galaxy was not on my radar, really.
Me either. I had no idea about that world or those characters at all.
But man, when it came out, it was 100 plus. I think in the first weekend. Now this did 100 plus worldwide, and the movie though was I think 130 million, which is way less than what they normally spend on their films.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of CG and green screen for these vast worlds and universes because it's based in reality.
And it's also small.
Yeah.
So, like, wrecking Thomas the Tank Engine is a little bit different than throwing a bus at another giant CG monster or something like that. Yeah, it was the stuff I take away from it is, like, the 3D was fantastic.
I was about to ask you, saw it in 3D.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
like, even though it wasn't shot in 3D, you know, nothing is really, except for, like, Avatar was, like, the only movie shot in 3D, and then, like, one documentary by Werner Herzog, and then, but it was perfect, like, little particles of dust and little, like, tiny things, and you're like, that's good 3D, that's good use of the 3D. Like, I loved, like, seeing the weird little effects that they put into it. Like, it was awesome.
It even added to the depth of field, too. Like, that first scene when he shrinks for the first time in the bathtub, you see the shower tub just extend, and you're like, whoa, this looks really cool in 3D, because you actually get that depth of field, which actually helped a lot.
Yeah. I was totally surprised by that. I mean, I wasn't even prepared for 3D. I was like, I wore my glasses. So, like, I have 2 pairs of glasses on in the theater, and I look like an ass, but whatever. But I thought that was awesome. And the other thing I thought was great about it is the difference of not having to do an origin story. Like, you get a little bit of a Scott origin story, and you get a little bit of the Suit origin story. Mm-hmm. And you do that kind of in the opening sequence where you get to see Michael Douglas as a 30-year-old, which I thought was unreal. Like, I've never seen an effect that good for that type of thing. Like, when they re-age someone. Because normally it's like a stand-in, and then they, like, put something on their face, and they try not to move a lot because the effect will move. But that was seamless. Like, I didn't realize it until the scene cut. I'm like, Michael Douglas looked like he did in Wall Street in that scene. That was ridiculous.
Same thing, too. Like, I remember seeing it first in Tron Legacy with Jeff Bridges. And I thought, okay, that looks pretty good, but you can still tell it's a little CG.
It was a little jiggly. Yeah, it moved.
But with this one, it looked flawless. I couldn't tell you. So, like you said, when it passed, I was like, oh, yeah, he's not that young.
Right. Yeah, this is a really old guy. Yeah. But I like the, here's what they do. They, like, open it up. Oh, yeah, you got the Ant-Man suit. Ant-Man suit exists. We don't need to know the science behind it. All you know is it shrinks atoms to closer space. That's it. Like, we didn't have to see a science sequence or people pouring out beakers or nothing like that. It was like, hey, the suit exists. Great. Here's what it does. It makes you real little, and that's it. And then we learn about Scott. And Scott is, you know, in jail for basically being, like, a good guy.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's kind of like something like the Green Arrow would do. It's like he went after some company for doing evil shit and broke into their place, and that's why he ended up in jail.
Yeah.
And then I just liked that that's it. The funny thing is, and I'll say, I don't know how they did it in the comic, because Ant-Man is not a household name. He's a big deal, like, because he was an original Avenger, because he's been around since, like the 60s or something that. And he's kind of a big deal, but as far as, like, random, you know, you don't see kids wearing Ant-Man shirts. You will now. But, like, you know, Spider-Man is everywhere. Iron Man is everywhere. You know, you've had these ubiquitous characters that you've known for a long time. But, like, so you kind of learn about this cool suit and this guy, but the way they meet each other, this is kind of a little ass-back. Like, he's kind of a good guy who's in jail. I know all about him. I'm going to send a message by inadvertently tipping off his friend who is at a wine tasting with his other friend. Like, those sequences, though, that was funny, too. That was the only real comedy in the movie was it Michael Pena?
Yeah.
Would do these long stories where everyone had his voice. So it was like, you guys ever see Drunk History?
Yeah.
It was like Drunk History, but with, like, a dude from Oakland. So he's, like, just rattling off all this stuff, and then everyone has his voice. And then, like, the way they kind of met was goofy, I thought.
Yeah.
And, but again, not complaining. My only complaint, and I did this in the review, too, is they constantly remind Scott he has a daughter. Like, every time they talk to him, they're like, Scott, you have a daughter. You got to pull it together, man. Scott, you have a daughter. Pull it together, you know? And then it parallels, you know, Hank's story with his daughter, which is totally fucked up.
Yeah.
And they kind of hash that out in a kind of a funny way, too. Like, she, at times, is a little uneven. I forgot her name now. But she... like, really hates him sometimes, and then other times she's, like, fine with him. Like, it was a little funny, but for a film that changed directors midstream, and I know Adam McKay is listed as one of the writers, and he's a director too. He did all the Will Ferrell movies, stuff like that. Like for a film that didn't have a constant stream throughout, that was pretty tight.
Oh yeah,
there was little stuff that I saw that was just like annoying because I work in television. Like shit, like his shirt was buttoned and then not buttoned and then unbuttoned and then, little goofy stuff. But man, if you change directors in the middle of a film, that's a pretty good product. Yeah. And I think that also speaks to how tight Marvel and Disney have hands on this stuff. And that's ultimately, that was a great movie. It's a cool addition. The one more thing to add to it is his suit. At first you're like, oh, he's shrink small. He controls ants. Who gives a shit? And it's like, oh, and he takes a shot at Iron Man in one of the scenes. He's like, this ain't no fucking Iron Man suit.
Right.
And it's like, no, this is really dangerous. And then you see it at one point where the ants have little bombs on them. Yeah. And they're cruising into this, like, server system. And then the bomb jumps off the ant and goes onto the wall and it blows into a full-size bomb. And I'm like, that would be really dangerous if you could do that. Like, if you had an ant with a bomb on it that was then a full-size bomb, like, that would be like the ultimate terrorist weapon. It would just be crazy. I gotta get a moment of silence for Anthony. Yeah. I think that was Anthony. That's a weird way to die, if you want to say it. He gets shot. And he's a freaking ant.
Yeah. So, but did you feel bad? Like, you actually felt for an ant?
Yeah, I felt really bad for that ant. Like, the only time in my life. But, like, important stuff as far as pushing the stories forward, and this being the end of Phase 2, you get a Spider-Man reference.
Yeah.
So I had heard that there was a bunch of goofy stuff. Like, the way that movie ended, they were like, hey, we're done. And then they're like, no, you're not. Hold on a second. We need to throw in the Winter Soldier bit. We need to throw in Spider-Man. We need to throw... There was, like, 3 additional bits that were apparently added way after the fact. So, yeah, like...
Well, apparently with that Spider-Man reference, that wasn't part of, like... It wasn't intentional.
Oh, it wasn't?
It wasn't. They were just...
Because I thought it was them, because they had cut that deal with Sony, and they were already talking about it.
They had already shot that scene and wrote that scene before that deal took place. Oh. So they're just kind of making an obscure reference to superheroes in general.
Oh, okay.
And then it just so happened that they signed that deal, so it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
And then...
that was actually a really cool part of the film, too, is that they're in San Francisco. They know all the stories, but they're not directly affected.
Yeah.
It's New York didn't just come down around their ears, and all these other places didn't get destroyed. They're like, man, it's crazy.
Right.
We're up here in San Francisco. It's nice. Like,
oh, yeah. I think at one point in the movie he even says, well, why don't we call the Avengers? And Tim's like, no, screw those guys. I don't trust them either.
Yeah. And a lot of people is throwing cities down on people.
Yeah, exactly. So,
it was just a reference to what just happened.
And then I don't know if you probably didn't see the post-credits.
No, I didn't. I had to leave early.
Because it's actually one of the first ones where they actually waited till the end of the entire
credits.
Oh, is that
the very end?
Yeah, it was the very end, very last thing you saw. But you see a shot of the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, with his metal hand caught in like a vice machine. And you see Falcon standing over him. You can tell Bucky's been there for a while and he's kind of just worn down. And the Cap walks in. Falcon says, this isn't working. I don't know what else to try. He's not getting through to him. Cap's like... we gotta try something. Falcon says, "You want to call him? Maybe he can get through." He goes, "No, I want to." Cap goes, "No, I want to keep Stark out of this. I don't."
Right.
Suffer now's not gelling with him. Leading to the Civil War. And Falcon goes, "I know a guy," and then just cuts and says, "Ant-Man will return in Civil War."
Right.
So that closes off Phase 2, and I'm not sure of how much of a big role it's going to play in Civil War.
Yeah, I don't know either, and. Especially because the Civil War that I know is the comic one, and the comic one can't possibly happen in this world. There's too many contracts with, the X-Men were involved, the Fantastic Four were involved. It's this entire mutant superhero showdown thing with the government and all that. But yeah, I think whatever they do is going to be all right. Marvel, like I said, has such a tighter grip on what they're doing, and also with the worlds, they're adjusting them as they need to for the films. It's not like we're going to get into this here in a minute with Batman vs Superman, which is they're making little adjustments, but it's stuff no one is getting really upset about. Like dropping Hank Pym out of the Ultron thing. Everybody's like, well, okay, whatever. Yeah. And nobody really cares.
Because it fit within the realm of the universe that they've already established.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the harder stuff is like the stuff that DC did previously, which is like, here's a character, go nuts.
Yeah.
And you got a guy who like will pick and choose stuff from comic or not comics, and then Batman has nipples on his suit, and everyone's in day glow, and everyone's upset. So, yeah, I mean, speaking of that, we could try to transition over to the Batman v Superman, which has a very interesting fan theory that's popped up and I've been seeing it get quite a bit of tread lately.
Yeah, I heard about it this past week too, and it was posted by a Reddit user, Jason G169. Basically, his theory is that the new Joker, or Jared Leto's Joker, is actually Jason Todd.
Right.
And if you guys are unfamiliar with the Jason Todd story, he was actually the second Robin to take over the Robin mantle after Dick Grayson left off and became Nightwing. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of an arrogant little cocky kid, willing to, hit first and ask questions later. And I think he was okay with using guns at the time. And historically, he got killed off because of a fan vote in the comics.
Right, and it was such a big deal. I read that book, and it's so funny because, I mean, at the time, it was way before I was reading comic books, but I went back and read the graphic novel version of it.
Yeah.
And apparently the Jason Todd character was so unfavorable. Like, people hated his character. And like, why do you hate Robin?
Right.
But the way they wrote him had created this rift where fans were just like, you got to get rid of this guy. And so DC, in one of the like biggest moves in comic book history, goes, all right, you guys wanted it. He lives or dies.
Yep.
Tell us. And they left that comic book open because the Joker is like beating the shit out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a brutal bit. It's like one of the coolest things you'll ever read like especially old comics. They didn't do stuff like that. And they go, okay. And I think it was 72 votes was the split.
Yeah, it was really close.
And it was to kill off Jason Todd. Mm-hmm. And they did. So the theory, I like the concept of the theory that this is a character that died off, but no one dies in comics. This is like, soap operas. Like, nobody ever dies.
Even in the comic world, they brought him back as the Red Hood. Like, Jason Todd actually survived, and he is brought back to take revenge and be the Batman that Batman can't be by using guns and defeat the gangsters and villains and all that stuff by taking on the persona of the Red Hood, which was Joker's original villain persona before he got the acid tossed on him and everything. Mm-hmm. And a lot of evidence that the Jason here points to this, that he could take over, and that's why he's so he's portrayed more of a psychopath in this movie. Yeah. And his grill's all messed up. Well, that could have been from the beating he got from Joker. That's why his teeth are all gone. Right. And there's a tattoo of a J on his
that is an interesting choice.
And which is interesting because in the new Batman Arkham Knight game, I'm sure everyone's already heard the story already, but
the Batgirl thing and all that.
No. About the Arkham Knight is actually Jason Todd. Right. Even though Rocksteady said it wasn't going to be Jason Todd, we promised, but it was Jason Todd. Yeah. In the video game as well, he has a branding of a J on his cheek also. So that kind of ties in with this movie's Joker also. Yeah. So maybe it could be J for as in Joker, or maybe it's a J for as in I'm still Jason Todd. Right. You don't know. And also another piece of artwork on his tattoos is on his right arm. He's got some feathers, it looks like. So maybe from a bird or a robin. Maybe to show that, hey, these tattoos are not for Joker, but these are tattoos for Batman. Right. Saying, hey, this is who I still am. If you can figure it out, since you're the greatest detective, you're not going to beat my ass because you know who I am and all this grief you got from me. So I win. Right.
The stuff that shoots some of that down, I saw a couple guys talking online. I want to make sure this is not my theory stuff. But is that if it is Jason Todd, why doesn't he just blow Batman up? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the media. He knows he's Bruce Wayne. He knows that they're the same person. Yeah. The media doesn't know that. The people don't know that. But he would just be like, yeah, guess what? And just crap on him just to do it. But also this points to the Joker being two people. Or dead.
Correct.
So that he would have to like train him up somewhere or somehow in the past, however many years. Mm-hmm. But then the Joker in this story would be gone or locked up somewhere. But this guy's in Arkham.
Yeah.
So this guy's been locked up for some reason. Either he's Jason Todd or he's the Joker.
That's true, yeah.
Or whatever. And, like, maybe they did. Maybe they just moderned him up. Maybe the J is actually a shot at Batman from the Joker, going, hey, Jason Todd, remember that?
Yeah.
You know, it could be that, too.
Yeah, you're right, because, the theory for him not revealing who Batman really is because if Joker beat him and
he probably wanted to himself. It's that nihilistic Joker thing that they use so much, which is he's just nuts.
Right,
he just likes the chaos and like all that stuff. So playing the game with Batman would be more important than
revealing who he is.
Batman in that way. Yeah,
exactly.
It's true.
So I don't know. I'm really excited. This is the theory they're going for. I mean, I've always liked how they go and put these really big twists on things, and I think it would be fantastic.
But yeah, it's fine. It's a good twist. I don't hate it, and it's a really cool concept. That guy thought it through pretty well. The hard part is, one, that's a really unpopular character, Jason Todd. And then two, it's like DC has to be really careful. Like I said, they get really loose with their books. And this even goes back to the DLC content and the Destiny stuff. People who do this stuff, who like these things, don't like you to mess with it too much.
No.
Now, if you completely alter Batman, you're going to piss a lot of people off. You know? So that was... Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And speaking of, I think they might be onto something, but we'll see.
Yeah, and speaking of altering what people think and like, have you seen the recent pictures of Apocalypse?
I have.
X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Power Rangers movies. I grew up loving Power Rangers.
I'm not as tight with the Power Rangers as you are.
And oh my god, I thought the same thing everyone else has been thinking. First time I saw Apocalypse, I'm like, that's Ivan Ooze.
Right.
This is ridiculous. This guy looks really dumb. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure why they did. I heard some of the explanation because he's more of a psychological character. I think they tried to humanize him a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not.
But like Thanos and all that looks like a big freaky weird thing. Like you could make Apocalypse look like a freak, you know?
Or they even made a reference in like Game of Thrones. They have giants walking the world, and it's an HBO show. It's like
yeah.
So it's like it was ridiculous when I saw that picture. I was like, no, that's not going to work.
Right.
He's too small. He looks like Ivan Ooze. He's not that dark, deep purple and the lip,
Yeah.
It doesn't work out.
It's funky. It's very funky. And, like, some of the other stuff I've heard, too, like, if you look at the picture, what's his name? Magneto's costume looks really bizarre to me.
I haven't seen that picture yet.
No, okay. There's 3 shots of them, and it's I forget his name, in the middle is Apocalypse. And then you got Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and then Olivia Munn as, what's her name?
Psylocke?
Psylocke. And, yeah, they look close, but then, yeah, his suit is really busy with, like, a lot of shit. And, like, I thought they were pretty dead on with his suit in the past. Again, Magneto's suit means literally nothing. As long as he's got the helmet, you know exactly what he is. But, yeah, we'll see with the storyline. They're changing some stuff already, and I can't tell now where they fit with each other. Because now they're going to find Storm. Storm's going to be kind of a bad character. I don't know Storm's backstory that well. Yeah, but she's some sort of street urchin type character is what they allude to. And then I don't know if you know this. Does Mystique have another name?
Raven.
Okay, so that is the name she goes by. All right. Because that threw me when I was watching a preview for it.
Oh, okay.
And they use Raven instead of Mystique. I'm like,
well, yeah, because in Days of Future Past, they kind of reset the world, right?
Okay, yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they go back in time to stop the Sentinels from being released in the future.
Oh, so that changed, because I thought they were following the comic book arc of what they're doing.
I don't think so anymore. Ever since Days of Future Past, because of that change now, the whole world is different.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only person who remembers how it used to be is Wolverine.
Okay. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the show, but we'd like to hear from you. So please leave a comment below and tell us something you'd like to see on an upcoming show or your thoughts and feelings. Or you can tell us that we suck. Maybe don't do that, because we're a little fragile.